All right, let's talk about a gem that is seriously changing the game for Ruby developers working with AI. It's called RubyLLM, and its promise is simple but huge. One clean, consistent API to talk to pretty much any model you can think of. GPT, Claude, Gemini, you name it.
So let's say you're a Ruby dev. You're thinking, I need to add some AI magic to my app. Maybe it's a chatbot, a summarizer, whatever. You start digging in and, well, where do you even start? It's a question a lot of us are facing right now.
And pretty quickly, you run headfirst into what I like to call the API chaos. Because every single AI provider, and there are a ton of them now, they all have their own gem, their own special way of doing things, their own conventions. It gets messy, and it gets messy fast.
I mean, just look at this list. You've got OpenAI's API, then Anthropic has a totally different one for Claude, Google has its own for Gemini, then you've got AWS Bedrock, Mistral, even running models locally with LLM. They all speak a different language, send back data in different formats. It is just a nightmare to manage.
In this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. Anyone who's tried this knows this feeling. You think, oh, I'll just try out Claude instead of GPT, but it's never just changing one line in a config file. You end up having to rip out and rewrite a whole bunch of code. It's a huge pain.
But what if there was a better way? You know, a more elegant way to handle all this mess? Well, that is the entire idea behind RubyLLM. It's designed to be that one single unified interface for every LLM out there.
Let's just break down the difference here. The old way, the way you're probably used to, means you're juggling a bunch of different gems like Ruby OpenAI and Anthropic RB. Or, even worse, you're trying to build your own abstraction layer. All that time is spent maintaining plumbing instead of building cool features. The RubyLLM way? One place for your API keys, one chat object, and it just works, no matter what backend you point it at.
And look at this. This code says it all. It's beautiful. You want to talk to Claude 3.5 Sonnet? Cool. You write your code. Then, you want to see how GPT-4o handles the same prompt? You just change one string. The rest of your code, your ask method, how you handle the response, it all stays exactly the same. It's that simple.
But here's the thing. RubyLLM isn't just about making basic chat requests easier. No, it goes way beyond that. It comes loaded with some really powerful, high-level features right out of the box that let you build some seriously impressive stuff.
Okay, so get this. This is a feature called Tools, and it's a total game changer. What if the AI could actually run your application's own Ruby code to get answers or perform actions? That's what this lets you do.
Check out how this works. You can define a class, like this database query tool, and you give it a description of what it does. Then you just tell your chat session, hey, you can use this tool. When a user asks a question like how many users signed up last week, the LLM itself is smart enough to know it needs to run that tool, get the data, and then formulate the answer. You don't have to write any of that messy if-then logic.
And building on that idea, we have another concept called agents. Now, think of agents as reusable, pre-configured AI personalities. They're stateful assistants that you can set up once with specific instructions and tools and then reuse all over your app.
And this is just so cool. You can create specialized agents for whatever you need. For example, here we're creating a support agent. We're telling it to use Claude, we're giving it specific instructions on how to behave, and we're handing it the exact tools it's allowed to use, like looking up users. Now, anywhere in your app, you have this expert support assistant ready to go.
All right, for all you Ruby on Rails developers out there, and I know there are a lot of you, you are going to absolutely love this part. RubyLLM was built with Rails in mind from the ground up, and the integration is just seamless.
Seriously, look how easy this is. You have a conversation model that inherits from application record. You add one single line, acts as chat, and that's it. From now on, every time you use that model to ask a question, the entire conversation, the user's message, the AI's response, it's all automatically serialized and persisted to your database. All that work is just done for you.
Now you might be thinking, this sounds amazing, but is it some brand new, risky project? And the answer is a resounding no. This library is mature, it's ready for production, and it has absolutely earned the trust of the Ruby community.
I mean, the proof is right there. Over 3,800 stars on GitHub. That's not just a passing curiosity. That's a strong signal from thousands of developers that RubyLLM is solving a real, painful problem that they actually have. And if stars aren't enough for you, how about this number? Over 6 million total downloads of the gem. That is just incredible. It shows you that this isn't just a library people are looking at, it's a tool that's being actively used in real projects day in and day out.
And maybe the most important piece of validation is this. The library's creator, Carmine Paulino, uses it in his own production company, Chat with Work. That means every feature has been stress-tested in a real-world business environment. It's not just a side project. It's been through the ringer.
So, let's put it head-to-head. Compared to a specific gem like Ruby OpenAI, the multi-provider support is the obvious win. But let's look at LangChain RB. They both can handle multiple providers and have agents, but look at the dependencies. RubyLLM has just 3. LangChain pulls in over 30. That's a massive difference in complexity. Plus, the Rails integration is built in, not a bolt-on plugin.
So when you boil it all down, the message is really simple. RubyLLM is here so you can stop spending your time writing and maintaining adapters and boilerplate code and instead focus on what you actually want to do: build awesome AI-powered features.
So let's just recap the big wins. You get one unified API from more than 14 different LLM providers. You get incredibly powerful features like agents and tools built right in. It's super lightweight with only 3 dependencies, so no bloat. And for all you Rails folks, that acts as chat integration is just a dream.
And that really is the question to leave you with, isn't it? When a tool comes along that removes all of that tedious, frustrating, repetitive work, it frees you up to think bigger and be more creative. So, what will you build?